Another good method to implement on your farm once you've got your permanent fence set up is to look at going in there and doing some interior fences. And in doing that, you can help move these cattle around, or whether it be sheep, goats, whatever you're whatever you're working with. But in choosing a poly wire, that's something that you do want to look at, and there is a difference in poly products. It may depend on if we're wanting to run just a couple 100 feet or if we're running several thousand feet. On your poly products, you've got one that's going to have 6 strands of stainless steel conductors in there, and they're a 0.16 millimeter wire. It's got a pretty high pretty high ohms of resistance in that poly product, so the current, the voltage is not going to travel down that line as well. So that's one that you would only want to run for a few 100 feet. Stepping up from that, you could go to something that would have like a 9 strands of stainless steel in there, and look at the size of those conductors. We've got one that we offer that's a 9-strand 0.20 millimeter wire. That's going to be more conductive than the 6-strand. And then above that, you could look at a product that's going to have like copper wiring in there. So, look at those conductors. If you get a product that has copper wiring in there, obviously it costs a little bit more because of the copper, but it's going to be more conductive. You're going to get more voltage down at the end of that line, which in return is going to help keep your cattle contained better and going to keep you happier since you're not having to chase animals down. Also, in working with your temporary rotational grazing, you'd want to be sure to select a good reel. There's several out there on the market that's just got a standard 1-to-1 gear ratio, so every 1 turn you make of the handle, that spool turns 1 time. I would highly recommend looking at getting a geared reel. A geared reel is going to have a 3-to-1 geared ratio, so every 1 turn you make of the handle, that spool has turned 3 times. So that's going to save you time. It's going to help you to be able to move those cattle quicker out there. Something else to look at on your temporary step-in, tread-in post is maybe how the clips hook up. I know there's a lot of posts that have just got a clip on the side over here where you literally have to hold the wire and force it down in there and then pull it out. There are some posts on the market today. It's called more of a tread-in style post. It's going to have a quick style hookup clip, and this is a clip that you would not really have to grab hold of your wire and stick it in there. You can literally just lay the post up beside the wire, slide it up, give it a turn, and it's locked on here. And then if we were taking something down there, again, just turn it, and we can slide it right back off without literally having to grab hold of the wire. So that's something else that you could look at, that sometimes those little things can help save you some time. Once you've got your fence built and installed, the next step is going to be actually selecting an energizer to put on that fence. And in doing that, one thing you want to keep in mind is what size charger, what size energizer do I need to power the amount of fence that I have installed here. And one thing that you definitely want to look at on selecting an energizer is going to be the joule rating. And to put it in layman's terms, a joule rating, let's look at that kind of like our horsepower and torque. That's what's carrying the load of this fence, and a load being more wire out there, a load can be weeds growing up on a fence. A short puts a load back on that energizer. So look at the joule rating, and kind of as a rule of thumb to what I think you'd be happy with is look and say about 25 acres of multi-strand fencing per 1 output joule. So if we had an energizer that has 4 output joules, in return that would do about 100 acres of multi-strand fencing. So that's something to look at when selecting what size charger you need. Obviously there's multiple energizers on the market today. There's some even that has a remote control type feature technology on there. So if you've got your fence powered, you've got your energizer going, and we find a short on the backside somewhere, whether we're using our fault finder or whatnot, if we do find a short somewhere, they've got energizers today that has got a remote control technology with them. And once you've located that short, you can literally turn that energizer off from anywhere on the fence line. So when we find our problem, we can lay this up here on the wire, hit the off button, it sends a wave back into the energizer, powers it down. We can fix our fence and then turn it right back on there.